please rise for the pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Pray with me, please. Heavenly Father, we ask that you bless these proceedings. May everything said and done here be according to your will, and may it benefit the citizens of Jersey County. We ask it in Jesus' name.
And call the roll, please.
Mr. Kruger?
Here.
Herback? Here. Mr. Heitzig?
Here.
Mr. Knelliken? Absent. Ms. Drainer?
Here.
Mr. Tonser?
Here.
Ms. Mossman?
Here.
Mr. Koenig?
Here.
Ms. Hefner?
Here.
Mr. Wagner?
Here.
Mr. Hayes?
Here.
Chairman Little?
Here. We have the minutes from June 11th, and then the regular meeting, and then a special meeting from June 27th. Is there any corrections, clarifications? If
I'll
not,
move there. Be approved as printed.
motion by Mr. Kruger to approve both minutes as presented,
I'll second.
seconded by Ms. Hefner. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Audit of the bills, Claims Committee.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The Claims Committee met before the meeting, and we came up with a total of $104,022.45. And then we had $4,593.07 for board compensation. And I make that one motion that we approve that.
Motion made and seconded. Any discussion? Questions? Call the roll, please.
Ms. Kerback?
Yes.
Mr. Heitzig?
Yes.
Ms. Drainer?
Yes.
Mr. Tonser?
Yes.
Ms. Mossman?
Yes.
Mr. Koenig?
Yes.
Ms. Hefner?
Yes.
Mr. Wagner?
Yes.
Mr. Hayes?
Yes.
Chairman Little?
Yes.
Mr. Kruger?
Yes.
Public comment. Any public comment?
As many of you know, the governor signed the gambling bill, and that gambling bill has attached to it, or was negotiated, that data centers get tax advantages. So in order for someone to get a data center and to have the tax advantage, they have to agree to spend $250 million over 5 years. And Illinois, rural Illinois, is what they targeted this kind of bill for. So Jersey County has an enterprise zone. They have an economic development zone on the far west side of the county. And now there's a great opportunity where you guys could actually solicit and do some planning to try and get someone here to do a data center, because they pay lots of wages compared to warehousing that pays 12 or 15. So you guys could control the development. It doesn't create all kinds of traffic necessarily. It doesn't create anything except heat because of the consumption of the electricity that it needs. But the question is that why don't we have an economic development entity that is working on behalf of the county instead of letting the city do the economic development work? That's my question. Because right now, you guys get reports from Jerseyville, and you're not even trying to fund the Jersey County Business Association, and that's according to Ms. Baer, that the deal is that you're going to stop funding her. So you're not having meetings on economic development. At least they're not posted. And there doesn't seem to be any activity, and nobody's made any decision, I guess, on what to do about getting EDC money. So making a decision can be as simple as not doing anything. That's a decision. So by doing nothing, the county gets further behind. And right now the county's going to get hammered because of the loss of revenue from the flooding plus the expenditures. So sometimes you're going to have to like break out of the mold and spend some money and do some things to be leading instead of following other people. So I'd like to know from the chairman or somebody on the board, when are you going to have an economic development meeting that's going to be posted, that you're going to bring people in and people are going to start working on things?
One item, just for the board's clarification, as everyone knows who was here and voted on the budget and levy from last year when it was adopted for this year's operations. We reduced the amount of money going to the JCBA by $5,000. This was done with the consultation with Ms. Baer with JCBA and in full agreement. So whether there's any other reductions remains to be seen by this board. So to say that we've cut out funding altogether is not accurate. But thank you for the comment. Anyone else?
Mr. Lou, is this where I can stand up?
Not yet. We have you coming up under new business, sir.
Sorry, thank you.
I guess the sheriff is not here yet. All right. Now, you're under new business, under remarks by residents of Lock Haven, Elsa Hills.
Yeah, my name's Mike Hentrick, folks, and I appreciate your time and the opportunity to come up and address it.
Could you spell that for the clerk?
I can, sure. My last name is Hentrick, Hentrich, Mike. And I'm a representative of a small contingent of folks from the Mill Creek area, Elsa Hills, and the Lock Haven area. And I just wanted to come up tonight and let the board know, I'm not sure, I had the opportunity to speak with Mary earlier. I know she and I'm sure many of you have been affected by this flood event. And we down in that area, when the river at Alton Gauge reaches 31 feet, Mill Creek Park is inaccessible, my home is inaccessible, and many of the folks, if not all of the folks in the Lock Haven development over there is inaccessible. So there's two things we're trying to work on down there. Obviously, one is the accessibility. There was an event during this most recent flood business here where a lady over in Lock Haven had a stroke, and during these events, everybody that lives over in that area parks along the bottom of Elsa Hills Road. Well, it kind of creates a little gauntlet, and when the EMS folks showed up, they've got their little Zodiac boat and their John boats, and they're trying to get to this woman, and it just turned into a big fiasco. So that really kind of drew a lot of attention to the access in that area. And at 31 feet, I mean, it just seems to be happening more and more all the time. So the accessibility, we've had the opportunity to meet with Mr. Tom Klasner already. He's just a very fine gentleman, and he is putting together a couple of different options, one of which is raising Barton Lane, which would afford access to the folks at Mill Creek. If they would extend that kindly over to the intersection of Lock Haven Road, it would afford us access to those emergency services, fire service, emergency health services, such like that. The second option is to build a flood road back over an easement from the golf course, which I think it sounds like is going to be very expensive, and probably there's going to be land acquisition according to the engineer and a lot of things that probably are going to be big speed humps on that. So right now he's putting together this proposal for raising that portion of Barton Lane to give everybody access down there. The second thing is communication down there. We've got we have a landline still that the copper lines down there are antiquated. They're often wet because it's all underground. A lot of it's underground, and those cable pairs get wet, so the thing doesn't work. The cell service down there is spotty at best. I'm sure many of you guys have got similar issues. But this emergency event with this young lady that I spoke to really is an issue that we really want to try and take advantage of this. And I plead to you guys for any information you can give us, any help you can give us. Tom has talked about putting this together, and he doesn't have a price on it yet, but we're going to have to get some kind of, obviously, assistance. The county can't afford to foot the bill to raise a road or to help us with our cell phone service. So I wanted to make you guys aware of that. I know that everybody in the county, many folks are impacted by this event. I wanted to let you know that our little neck of the woods in southeast Jersey County is also very much impacted by that, and we want to try and do whatever we can to improve that for the next event, because we feel very strongly it's going to happen again. That's really the two things, are the access, trying to find money to give Tom to proceed with this type of a project. And I have had the opportunity to talk to a guy with AT&T. He's got a title of External Affairs, but he's looking at the service down there, how many subscribers they have and how many calls get dropped and all that. We have no internet service down there unless you want to pay for a satellite service, which I guess many folks do. It's really expensive and it's very poor service if any of you guys use that. We've had it in the past and I just can't justify it. So anyway, I really appreciate you guys' time, and anything, I had the opportunity to talk to Mary. I know she's had her hands full and offered me the opportunity to come up and speak to you guys tonight. So if anybody's got anything that they think I can do or we can do, I had a couple folks who were going to come and a couple other things came up, so my contingent wasn't able to make it. I'm sorry. So I appreciate that's about all I got.
After the conversation that we had on the phone, and Mary had called me and given me some initial information, and then we filled in some additional blanks on particularly on the cell issues. I reached out to Rob the Hedger, which I think I told
Yes, sir. You did mention that.
and mentioned him, and he's provided me with some contacts, which the guy from AT&T may be one and the same with.
Okay.
So I don't have his name in front of me, but I was.
If I can call Mr. Hedger, I'd be tickled to do that and go from there.
Well, if you want to talk to Rob, I mean, he's there during regular business hours, or stop in.
And he's in the sheriff's
He's in
department?
Sheriff is Rob still have office space up there on the second floor or third floor of the courthouse.
Yes.
Okay.
You may want to stop in or just call ahead and get an appointment. But he's given me some contact information. I'm going to start reaching out to these people and see what
That would be
their,
great.
their process would be.
That would be great. This Jeff Aducci, I told him, because he's with AT&T, and I said, well, Jeff, I'm going to find the guy with Verizon and Sprint, the Jeff Aducci of Verizon and Sprint. Well, then he started listening a little bit more, at least, and he offered to do this little reconnaissance to look at, call history and how those have been dropped. But if we can't, if the copper lines aren't reliable, and we got one little hash mark on these stupid phones, and they're shoddy at best. So we really want to try and improve that if we can. So I sure appreciate you guys' time and any help. I will
I have
follow
a
up.
question for you.
Yes, ma'am.
Tom mentioned, is there approximately 100 properties? Is that what's affected down there?
Mary, I don't know for sure. I don't know. There's Mill Creek is a pretty, I don't know if there's 100 homes and trailer things back there. There's folks along Lock Haven Road that,
Sure.
those folks they're just kind of hogtied. They can't, none of this stuff is really gonna help them. If Barton Lane isn't extended over to the intersection of Lock Haven, it's not gonna help me, pardon me, fire service or emergency services. We just can't get a truck to any of these folks. The Lock Haven area, I'm not sure how many homes are involved. We've got a little contingent of probably 15 residents in that area from Mill Creek. I'm on the far east side of it, and then some folks from the Lock Haven area. But I don't know. I'm sorry, I don't know for sure. Yeah.
How much were they thinking you'd have to raise the road to get it?
Sir, Tom, I think he mentioned 7 or 8 feet. And the Barton Lane thing would be the least intrusive with respect to land acquisition and easement encroachment, or whatever the engineering world looks at. It's a pretty straight stretch, and I understand they put that in when they built those houses along the golf course over there years ago, and we use it as a flood road when the road goes under, there's parts of Lock Haven go under, and we can cut through the golf course and still get out on the river road on occasion. But once it gets to 31 feet, then Barton Lane goes under, and that becomes impassable too. So. And they did elevate that a few years back. I think, I don't know if Mr. Butter's not here, but I think Dave Finkus he was a commissioner then, and I think they might have raised it 3 feet. And I can't remember how long ago that's been, but it goes under quite often. So,
Anyone else?
sure appreciate you guys' time and any help you might be able to offer us. Thanks very much.
We will be back in contact with you.
Thank you.
We have a resolution from dealing with the Alton Roadrunners Club. Sheriff, I believe Kelly said that, talking to you, that you have no objections, or this poses nothing.
I don't know if it's the new and improved, the one version that they had on that, there was a paragraph down through there where they wanted approval from the board and myself for an intersection in Alton to Stankin Lane. Well, that's all Madison County. So I asked that that be done in 15 years and what she was doing, and well, how could Jersey County Board approve something road goes in and that's Madison County? That didn't make any sense to me at all, so I don't know if I got it.
Well, I'm guessing this was boilerplate language similar to what's presented to Madison County for the very same purpose.
Because I think it's written in there about Jersey County Board to approve to close that stretch of road. I mean, that's what you.
This was from,
I don't know if the Madison County Board does the same,
I don't know.
the same thing goes before them. It says that the temporary closure of McAdams Highway, a state highway in the county of Jersey, from 7 a.m. to noon on the days. But then in a later paragraph, it does say that that permission to close off McAdams Highway from Broadway and Market to Stanka Lane be requested of the Department of Transportation.
Yeah, that's Madison County. If they went, they were going a couple hundred yards further past Stanka. Originally, what I thought may happen was, they want to notify both counties, and that's great. Certainly appreciate that. And that maybe Madison County got our side of it, and I got their side of it. And then I don't know if that's the case. I think I'm all for it. They can do it. And courtesy, I just wanted to let you guys know you're actually going to authorize to close stretch of road, ain't ours.
but there's nothing in here that you
That was
have.
my only hang up with it. The rest
Okay.
of it had gotten taken care of.
All right.
The Jerseyville Maintenance Short maintains from Peavy north or west.
All right.
So I don't know if it's considered, whose it is considered.
Well, if we adopt it, we can also certainly send a letter to them advising that this one area is not under Jersey County jurisdiction.
I just didn't want you to be held liable if there's an accident or something. Well, Jersey County did, whoa, that's not our county. That was my only concern. So what
Okay.
we're gonna do.
With,
Make a motion to approve this as far as Jersey County goes.
okay, motion by Ms. Scrivak, for the second by Ms. Grainer. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Thanks very much. Sheriff, you have some presentations?
I did. One of them involved Deputy Decker. He doesn't know yet, actually. He's giving his daughter away at the beauty pageant tonight. I don't know if that's a technical term. For a year of rain, a little misses up. I don't know what to do. That's what he's doing. So
He's presenting her for public service. So.
Yes, he's actually on duty. He's getting that uniform. So we'll do that next month, if that's all right. And then the other two, what we were going to do was 20 years of service, and he's retired and is actually on duty at another agency. And then she's not doing it by herself. So 30 years for Cindy was not coming by herself. So we'll take care of it. So thank you. I apologize.
All right. Legislative Committee, Mary Cook.
Okay, so for those of you who haven't been able to attend the two meetings that we've had last week and this week with regard to the contractors ordinance, I'll give you a little bit of background on what we have done. You should have a copy of the revised ordinance at your place. A couple of the guys pointed out that there is one mistake. It says Richmond Township, it should be Richwood, so we'll definitely fix that. Anyway, a little bit of background. So it was recommended by the sheriff and by the attorney general's office that Jersey County adopt some type of registration process for contractors doing business in the floodplain. The purpose of that is not to penalize or punish in any way our local contractors or even outside contractors who do respectable business. It does have a couple of purposes. One is to keep out the fly-by-night storm chasers, the guys who come in and prey on the little old ladies who fork over their savings, move the tree across the driveway, all the equipment is gone, those kinds of things. And then secondly, it also helps the sheriff or law enforcement and the attorney general's office should there be a problem, where citizens are taking advantage of it. So protection of our residents is ultimately the goal here. As I said, we did have two meetings. We had quite a few contractors at the first meeting, and they were very, very vocal and expressed their opinions, which we appreciated. We were able to really talk out a lot of the issues. For the most part, they were for a registration process, but they were against a high fee, and obviously they didn't want to be terribly burdened by it, but they did understand the reasons behind having some kind of a registration process. If nothing else, it protects them. The guys that are working hard and doing the right thing, it protects them. So anyway, we went back to the drawing board. We started over with the ordinance. The first one we were under the impression that this was for, a 365 type of ordinance over the whole county. That's not the intent of this. The intent of this is this disaster only. So the term of this ordinance will run during the term of this disaster. When the Jersey County ESDA coordinator declares that the area is no longer a disaster area, the ordinance will sunset and we're done. Okay? Now, if there is another disaster, if a tornado comes through or something like that, then we've already got a working document we can bring back and then amend accordingly, depending on the type of disaster, where it's located and all those kinds of things. So, we based the one we're using tonight, that we're recommending tonight, on the Harrisburg ordinance. It's a 1.5-page document, as you see, versus the 7-page one we started with. We reduced the fee considerably to $25 for contractors to register. The purpose of this is not to collect money. The purpose of it is just to get people to register so we know who's in the county doing what, and so that law enforcement has a little bit better handle on who's where and doing what. So we reduced the fee to $25, and in order to make it easier for contractors and even volunteers to register, we would allow the Village of Elsa and the City of Grafton, if they so choose, to complete the registration process at somewhere in their jurisdiction, and then forward the documentation to the county office. So those are the major changes that we have made. Certainly we can answer questions, but the committee did vote to approve this ordinance as preset with the changes that we talked about, the ones I discussed here. So I would make that an important.
Motion by Ms. Burbine.
I'll second.
Seconded by Mr. Tonser. All right. Question, discussion. I would note here on this morning's news, St. Louis County is enacting what appears to be a similar short-term registration requirement on anything in any disaster areas in St. Louis County. So this is not we're not out there by our lonesome. No question? Okay, motion made and seconded. Do a roll call vote, please.
Mr. Heisig?
Yes.
Ms. Drainer,
Yes.
Mr. Tonzer,
Yes.
Ms. Mossman,
Yes.
Mr. Koenig, Ms. Hefner,
Yes.
Mr. Wagner,
Yes.
Mr. Hayes,
Yes.
Chairman Little,
Yes.
Mr. Krueger,
Yes.
Ms. Burbach.
Yes.
Anything else, Mary? Two exceptional meetings, a lot of give and take from the contractors, the committee, and those board members that were able to make both of the legislative meetings. So it was very good work to hone a document that I think will be workable and usable for any future instances. So kudos to the legislative committee and the other board participants.
Thank you. Question for you. So will someone do you need me to resubmit this with the change?
I have it in Word format, I can correct it.
Okay.
And the only change is Richmond to Richwood.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll take care of that
Okay.
and get notification in the advertisement in the newspaper.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Nothing else from legislative, nothing else from sheriff. Since you're here, do you have anything related to your activities, of which it's been considerable?
I just have what we did for the month that I generally give you, and running a little late. I can hand it to you one by one when it's over. It's just the stats of the things, and some of the things that the guys have been doing, some of the accidents and things have certainly gone down, so that's a good thing. However, I will tell you that I went out and ran radar today, and I tell you this only because it's a problem. This 67, I radared 4 tickets today, 81, 82, 86, and 93 in less than an hour's time. I let the 70s go to get the other ones. So I only tell you that because I know this is going to be public, and I wanted it that way. I want the people out here to know that we're trying. When you're dealing with those kind of speeds, one of our deputies wrote one on down south, and I believe it was on a river road, a little over 100. So we're certainly having some issues in what we're doing patrol-wise with tickets and things. It's cutting down a little bit. But when you do that, the complaints come in. I just want to give you a little feedback. If you start getting those complaints, what we're dealing with. That's very good.
All right. Chairman's report, just a few items. The lease for the job center has been finalized and presented to the Madison County Employment and Training Department in Wood River. It's awaiting, I have signed from our standpoint. It will be signed by the Madison County Board Chair, hopefully within the next few days, get the copy back up here. But our affiliation with that local workforce innovation area 21 switched over on July 1st from the Carlinville operation to the one down in Wood River. Memos have gone out to the elected and appointed office holders requesting budget figures to come back in by, I think, the end of business on August 23rd. So the process for putting a budget together with levy will start within the month. The reassessment activity, this comes from Crystal Perry. Reassessment activity in the county has been slowed, one, because they have had to share some of their personnel with the code enforcement office to go out and do some assessments. So one item in particular would be Paisaw Township. Crystal went to the Paisaw Township board meeting on Monday night, reported to them that work on that township's reassessment will probably have to cease and then continue early next year. So I've signed a refund voucher to cut a check for I think $5,200 and some change as one of their payments for the next set of reassessment activity. So they will get that money back, hopefully hold it, not spend it on anything else, so that reassessment activity will resume in Paisaw Township early next year. Let's see. Finally, Anthony Furman with the Workforce Office in Wood River. I submitted a name to him or approached Dave Lewis, a local business man, to serve as a business representative to that board. He has agreed after meeting with Furman down in the Wood River office. So that board will meet every other month. But Mr. Lewis's name will be submitted to this board for appointment to the LWIA 21 Workforce Board. And that is it. We have animal control report for June of 2019. Is there a motion to approve that report? Mr. Heitze. Ms. Drainer. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. You have the minutes from the county board committees for the month of June 2019. County offices on June 3rd. Road and Bridge, June 4th. Liquor control, June 4th. Personnel, June 5th. Building and grounds and subdivision and land use, June 6th. And claims, June 11th. I have a motion to approve those minutes as submitted.
I make a motion.
Ms. Hefner. Mr. Hayes. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
That is all for that. Any additional public comment? Okay, hearing none. You have your checks at your seats. Please do not deposit or cash them until Friday, otherwise I will never hear the end of it from the treasurer. Is there a motion for mileage and per diem? Mr. Heitzer. Ms. Drainer. All those, and we'll go with roll call.
Ms. Drainer.
Yes.
Mr. Tonser.
Yes.
Ms. Mossman.
Yes.
Mr. Koenig. Ms. Hefner.
Yes.
Mr. Wagner.
Yes.
Mr. Hayes.
Yes.
Chairman Little.
Yes.
Mr. Krueger.
Yes.
Ms. Kerback.
Yes.
Mr. Heitze.
Yes.
Okay. There will be another memo going out to particularly those with offices, to the office holders and officials regarding for the upcoming budget. If there are any physical issues, the air conditioning doesn't work, you got leaks, anything else that I'd like to try and do a little advanced planning for the coming fiscal year. So if you can note that, I can't guarantee it, but we'll certainly try and build it into the capital improvements for future planning. I have nothing else. Short meeting. Is there a motion to adjourn? Mr. Koenig, second. Ms. Mossman. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Thank you very much. Stay cool.